for watching the video. I know it's been a while. It's been pretty busy and just wanted to take an opportunity to really just process everything that transpired. But this is my official video meet recap from the 2021 USPA drug tested Raw Nationals in Palm Springs, California, the week of July 12th to July 16th of 2021. And as you can see from the video, leading up, like I mentioned in prior, I felt training was the absolute best that I could have ever imagined leading up to the competition. I felt great, healthy. I felt great physically, mentally. I felt like for me the most important thing was to make sure I got to the competition 110% healthy. And it wasn't because I was having any lingering injuries or anything of that nature. It was just my biggest concern was if I wanted to make sure that I was going to put on my absolute best performance, I had to make sure that I was 100% physically. And I definitely accomplished that, and it's something definitely to admire and take away from this process. And also another thing to take away from this process leading up to this competition was just the pace as far as the progress I was making. I hit 7 PRs in total that I counted between my last competition in May to this one, and I have to say that I could not ask for a better meet prep. I would argue that this is probably the best meet prep I've ever had for a competition, given the implications as well. Obviously, there was a lot on the line for me in this particular competition. It wasn't just, going for a PR. Obviously, to no surprise, my goal was to go for the all-time world record, the drug-tested all-time deadlift record at 181, which it's currently at 761 pounds, and my goal was to break that at this competition. And that definitely was a driving factor, the solely driving factor of the intensity, the passion, and the drive that I had leading up to this competition. And I couldn't have asked for a better preparation. I feel like mentally, physically, I brought everything that I could bring to the table leading up to that competition, and I feel like I left it all. I left nothing behind. So obviously when I got to Palm Springs, 114 degrees, that was very, 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 very interesting. So the most important thing for me is I always have to make sure that I stay hydrated. So immediately I just did my regular routine, and I actually made sure I stayed inside leading up to the competition, staying in air conditioning, keeping my body cool, staying hydrated as well, just so I can make sure that I was making body weight and I didn't have to worry about possibly being dehydrated, possibly sweating. I knew that all these things would be a major, major factor given the environment that we were in, that it was going to affect me on game day. And obviously, knowing that the venue was going to be rather warmer than usual, again, given the environment that we are in, and also I know that we're having some complications with the air conditioning in the venue as well. So I had to make sure that I adjusted accordingly and accommodated to the environment so I could adapt to make sure nothing was going to throw off what I needed to do, and nothing was going to throw me off mentally as well. So leading up to the competition, refeed was perfect. Wayne was perfect, no issues there. I think I hit the point with everything I needed to do leading up to that competition, especially with hydration. The day of the meet, when I got there, I was very relaxed. Just spoke with my fellow Power Build members that were there, that were supporting me. I want to thank you all for the support as well, and congrats to all of you on your performances. I know we brought a big group, and our gym won the best team overall, which is great. But hats off to everybody who went and supported, who handled, who competed as well, who coached. Big ups to you guys. But I was very relaxed, and I knew what I was there to do. I felt very different this time around than compared to all the way back in March when I attempted the record at the WRPF meet at Micah Marino's gym. I wasn't confident at that time, and I felt confident this time. I felt this was the time. I felt like this was the time to make it happen. So they actually had only the blue 20 kilo plates in the back, which worked out perfectly because with my warm-ups, I opened up at 6:33. My last warm up was at 584, so it actually worked out perfectly as far as the jumps I needed to make for warm ups leading up to the competition, or leading up to when my flight was going to go. And I think that was the right move. Reason being is because I figured that every competition that I'd done this year, every time I did 3 full attempts, I wound up hitting a PR and actually getting my third. So I figured, let me stick with the same approach at this particular meet, as I felt like this would fare for me physically and mentally as well. Now, one thing people need to understand is, yes, obviously the opener that I did with 633 was, a warm up. That's right. That's what I want to do. Reason being is because I want to adjust to the pace of the meet. I don't want to just make any small chances as far as putting risk, as far as not being able to adjust to the pace. The reason why I do that is because the meet can change, the pace can change. I want to get acclimated to the setting, get acclimated to the pace as well, so that way I can make my jumps accordingly. So I opened up with 633. Definitely was my last warm-up weight, moved how it was supposed to. I went for my second, took 705. That moved excellent, moved the exact way I wanted to do as well. And of course, without no deliberation or no debate, I decided to go for the record. I definitely truly believed that I had it in me that day, and I said, you know what, let's go for it. So I decided to go with 766 pounds on my third attempt. I got the weight up, and I was called for, the side judges said my knees were not locked. I'm not going to sit here and discuss or even debate that. It is what it is. It is something that obviously I am not personally fond of, but I'm not going to argue with the call. They're the officials. That's the call they made. And I will be honest. I will be fully transparent that this was something that was very heartbreaking because, in that moment, I obviously I was so focused and locked in, but in my heart, I know that I lifted the weight and I accomplished the feat that I wanted to accomplish at this competition. But it was heartbreaking. It really was because, obviously the call didn't go in my favor. And, it is what it is. And I feel like this was something as far as a mental adversity that is something else I should have to, move past and look forward to the next competition. And I'm going to use that as motivation and redemption for my next competition. And here's the reason why. I feel like I'm at a point right now where I've always said to myself internally, and I'm sure I mentioned on here in the past as well, is that I do this because I want to be one of the best to ever do it. Okay? Obviously, I consider myself a deadlift specialist since I do deadlift only. I would like to go down as one of the best deadlifters of all time. And to some people, that could be a very large feat. Others, it could be laughable. To some, it might be impossible. But it is something that I never thought was impossible. It was never something that I thought was a large feat. I thought it was something that was definitely in my grasp as long as I stay dedicated and committed in making the right choices with my training, my dieting, and competing. And that's something I truly believe that I can still accomplish leading up to the next competition that I will be doing, which I will speak about shortly. And I'm definitely going to use it as motivation and redemption through this time frame leading up to my next competition. And I wanted to do IPL Worlds, but you know what? I actually elected to not do it. I know last year they didn't have it because of the pandemic, and unfortunately the meet is sold out, and I originally decided not to do it, so it is what it is. And the reason being is because the gym I do attend, Power Build Gym, is actually going to be holding a drug test in me on October 2nd. And I told myself, I said, you know what? I'm going to use this opportunity for motivation and redemption to train and do this competition, and I'm going to put this to bed. Now, what I mean by that is, obviously, this is the second time I went for this all-time world record. The first time, I didn't even get the weight halfway up. The second time, I feel like the call didn't go in my favor. The next time, which will be the last time, is I want to make sure that I put this to bed. It's not debatable. and I want to solidify that record. Of course, if somebody doesn't break it before I do. Um, but that's honestly how I feel right now. And I'm not saying this in an arrogant way. I'm not saying this to be cocky. I'm saying that this is a fire that's been lit in me from this everything that has transpired this year, and when it comes to this record. And I definitely want to exceed my expectations as far as what I believe I'm capable of doing, and what others may deem I'm capable of doing as well. And I feel like I'm in a very interesting place mentally and physically right now. Uh, yeah, it's interesting because this competition. I obviously only got my 705, my second. So this was actually the first time I actually placed outside of first. I actually placed third, and obviously it's a situation that I could not control, and this was the first time it's ever happened to me. And nobody's perfect. Nobody, you win, you have your wins and losses. You just have to take it as they go, and look forward to the next opportunity. But I'm going to use this as fuel to make sure that the next opportunity is the last opportunity. And this has been something that I've been just going back and forth with all year, and I want to put this to bed, and I definitely want to solidify that, you know what, if I believe I can do it, I can do it. And I hope that it's because the third time is a charm, and I hope it's because everything happens for a reason. That's something I believe. So maybe it wasn't meant to happen at Nationals. Maybe the opportunity is meant to happen somewhere else. Hopefully it's at this competition in October. But I'm going to definitely be training physically, mentally more harder than I ever have to make sure that at this competition I achieve and I tackle the goal that I've been trying to surpass. Every goal that I've set for myself, I am very fortunate to say that I've been able to accomplish up to this point. This is the last one that I have not been able to accomplish yet, and I'll be damned to not walk away from the sport unless I accomplish that goal. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm actually in the process of transitioning between jobs, and actually in the process of transitioning and moving as well to another location. Actually, I'm going to be moving down south. I live in the Northeast, so pretty interesting, exciting opportunities coming. And yeah, that's just where I'm at right now. And obviously, I've been back in training. Obviously, I haven't been posting because I've just been so focused on personal life and other things that are going on. But I'm definitely back in training, and I'm definitely just excited what's the next chapter for me. I will say this though. I will be doing full power next year at Nationals. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you guys for watching the video, and take care.